Yeah, perfect. Alrighty. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am going to drop another set of golden nuggets for you, and it's all around. In fact, before I do that, come on, tell me where you're coming in from. Give me your name, give me your country. Where are you coming in from? It's so important to understand that energy connects us all. And with what I'm going to be sharing today, it is going to bring up a new type of energy so that you can start to get better results. And if you are coming in, please do like this, please do share it, please give a comment if I give you some value. And I promise you I will be giving you some value. Why? Because it's worked for me, it's worked for my top clients, who some of you will know were world champion athletes, world famous CEOs, celebrities, and people that really do want to get the best results in life. Now, what is the subject of today's conversation? It's around imperfection in action. Remember, we're going to be going through a 3-day challenge on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, where what we're going to offer you, what we're going to gift you, is an IMAP. Now, that's an intelligent massive action plan. But when it comes to the planning, here's what screws people up in so many areas. 100% in business, but it's also now screwing people up in their personal life. Now, what am I talking about? Everyone's understanding that, oh, it's got to be perfect. There's so much perfection out there. All the media is saying you must look like this, you must be like this, and if you're not, you're a failure. So what happens? They get this analysis paralysis. What does it mean? They start to they get paralyzed in their mind, and they never take action. They're like, oh no, I've got to tweak this, I've got to polish this, I've got to get it right, and then I'm going to put it out there. Well, let's just look at this and make a little bit of common sense. If perfection for you is a certain look, a certain product, a certain way of doing things, is it going to be perfection for everyone else? Come on, type in the comments, yes or no. Come on, type in the comments, yes or no. Of course, the answer is no. So what does it mean? There is no perfection. Now, if we go and look at a company like Microsoft, when Microsoft launched into the world, before everyone knew who Bill Gates was, before everyone had a computer multiple computers in their house. Remember, there was a time not that long ago, and it would have been when your parents were growing up, when computers didn't even exist in a house. Now, can you even imagine a house in the modern world without a computer? It's unthinkable. And if you got, well, I haven't got a computer, well, you got a phone and it works like a computer. You're probably watching me right now on a phone that works like a computer. Now, what happened with Microsoft? They knew there was problems. They knew there was bugs in their system. They knew that when people started using their stuff, it wasn't going to be perfect. But what did they do? They did what every single successful entrepreneur and creator does around the world. They don't wait. Now, write this down. Write it down. I must take imperfect action. What does it mean? It means that you will learn faster. Why? Because when you put something out there, a business idea, a product, a service, even if you're putting you out there and you want to go and find your lover to spend the rest of your life with, you're never going to be perfect. You might think, oh my God, I've just got my hair done absolutely perfect. I'm looking like the bomb. And then you meet someone and go, oh my God, I just don't like that hairstyle. And you're like, what? Shave it all off and start again. But what does it mean? You've now got feedback. Now, that feedback, write this down. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. Because if you can't take feedback, you're never going to learn, you're never going to grow. Who's going to give you the best feedback? The people that are testing your stuff, trying your stuff, wearing your stuff, using your stuff. Because believe me, if they paid money for it, if they've invested their time, their energy, or income into a certain product or service and it's not working properly, you can guarantee they're going to come back and go, hey, I paid for this and it isn't working properly. And then you go, you know what? Thank you so much for that feedback. We're going to take that on and we're going to get this fixed immediately. And then what happens? Boom, happy client, happy customer, happy someone, whether it's in your professional life or your personal life. Now, of course, in this conversation right now, we're leading you up to Tuesday. What's happening on Tuesday? It's the 3-day challenge where you get to become the entrepreneur of the 21st century. Imagine what that 21st century entrepreneur is like. Imagine what it might be like now. Imagine what the 21st century entrepreneur might be like next year, in 3 years. It will continually evolve. Now, some people in life, they hold back. They keep polishing things. They keep tweaking things. They're just waiting for the right time. Guess when the right time is? Now. It's now. You've got to literally just say, you know what? This is the best I can do for right now. And I'm going to put it out there. Because if you don't put it out there, you don't get the feedback. You don't get to have that breakfast that champions are having all the time. I remember when I had a world champion coach and we were training, and this was after I was told I'd never stand again, I'd never walk again because of a back injury. And I remember him pushing me in the gym, pushing me. Obviously, after I'd learned how to walk and stand again, and I learned how to heal this in ways that most people don't even think is possible. And it's using epigenetics. That's a whole nother conversation. And I remember every single move, everything I was doing, bam, he'd come back with feedback. And I remember my mind started to get annoyed with it. And it was like, if he just tells me how to do this again, I'm just going to go nuts. And I suddenly realized, oh my God, what are my thoughts giving me? Stress, overwhelmment, judgment, anger. Like there were everything that was coming up was negative. Wasn't serving me whatsoever. And that's when I understood, how about I need to switch? Because every time he's coming back with feedback, he's only doing it to improve me. And what I was letting happen was my own stupid thoughts at the time, my own stupid emotions at the time were taken over. Because then we get to a place of, and I mentioned this yesterday in the post that we did yesterday from the airport in Geneva, high emotions, low intelligence. You never, ever, and I tell you now, the 21st century entrepreneur will not make decisions in a volatile state, in a stressed out state, in a state where the emotions are up. 21st century entrepreneur will get balanced, will get aligned, and understand, right, okay, we know we're going to put this out in the marketplace, this idea, a product, a service, doesn't matter what it is. And I'm waiting for the feedback. I'm waiting to gouge on this like breakfast because it will become fuel. And you got to understand that you might then get it to the point where you think it's absolute perfection. And what's going to happen? You're going to get critics out there. You're going to get the naysayers just taking it down. And what does that mean? If you're not ready for the feedback, you'll reject it. And here's the thing. Some of these naysayers that come up with stuff, some of these people that, because you got to understand this, as you rise up as an entrepreneur of the 21st century, which I'm going to show you how to do on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And by the way, there is going to be a link around here, which means now for the first time, you're going to be able to take action and register completely for free. It's happening on Tuesday, 6:30 for 90 minutes. So there is going to be a link. Make sure that you've clicked that link and you've got yourself registered. Now, here's what I want to say. If you're worrying about things being perfect, if you're worrying and think, oh my God, this is going to kill my success unless it's the best, unless it's, but it might be the best for you and not for someone else. So here's what I want to say. If you get it about 70% done, then you're probably in a position where you can go and release it into the marketplace. You can go and give it to someone, because there's always going to be feedback. There's always going to be things that we can polish. There's always going to be things that we can tweak. But what's most important is for you to understand that if you don't get it out there, you're going to be waiting forever. And the last thing we want is you waiting for the world to be gifted something that's come through you. Think about what's come through people into our world. Now, what we're now seeing is entrepreneurs. We're now seeing celebrities becoming entrepreneurs. Why? Because if they don't, they can have the fame, they can have the fortune, and then bam, they can lose it all. And I've coached enough of them to get them back better than they were before. So what have we got to do? We've got to understand that as you get something, and again, it doesn't matter what it is, it could be, think about what's come through people, like books, songs, movies, businesses, projects, so many things. Just get it out there and start to get that feedback. That feedback that you will get will be more powerful than you trying to figure it out behind closed doors. Get it to be the best it can be. And I've just seen that there's a link in the chat. There's a link somewhere around here. If you click that link, then here's what I'm going to be able to do. Spend 3 days with you, about 90 minutes every single day. Now, the IMAP is going to be an intelligent, massive action plan. Could be an imperfection, massive action plan. But what does it mean? We're going to be tweaking it all the time. But we've got to have a plan that moves you forward in the direction you want to go. And we're going to be plugging you into some type of intelligence that, by the way, is in you, where as that feedback comes, you can start to mold things. You can start to transform things. But you're not going to be too proud to say, well, it's just perfect and that's the way it's going to stay. Well, if you want to be stiff and rigid and solid like that, then all of a sudden that could be the very thing that trips you up and has you literally face down in the dirt. Whereas if you put it out there waiting for the feedback, then all of a sudden you've now started to do what? Now listen to this. You're starting to build communication between you and your customers, you and your clients, you and your partners. It changes the game, because we've got to constantly be moving as the seasons move, as nature moves, as energy moves. And when you do that, and remember, I come from being an athlete. And isn't it funny how, honestly, there is nothing special about me. I mean, there is, but just as, I'm just as special as you are. All I've been able to do is to plug in to this high level of intelligence. That's what literally taught me how to heal. You imagine being told you're never going to stand or walk again. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm so imperfect, I'm broken. That's what I thought. And then I realized the truth. I thought, there's nothing broken about me. I've just got to learn how to plug into a high frequency. Now, the thing that you look at nature, it's imperfectly perfect. Because if you don't get in alignment with nature, nature is unforgiving. It could kill us. Look at the sun. If you get sunburn, skin cancer, and all that, it doesn't care. So you've got to understand, nothing's going to care. And if you're waiting for something to care, then all you're doing is doing what? Tripping yourself up. Whereas if you say, look, this is the best I've got, well, take it and let's see what comes back. Because if you spend twice as long, 3 times as long, 4 times, 5 times as long getting it right, and then there's no feedback coming back, you know that you've just wasted your time, energy, and effort, muscle, money, doing something, creating something that people just don't want. Whereas if you put it out there like Microsoft did, all of a sudden people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is amazing. Oh, no. This I thought this was amazing, but it's not. But they got people using it. They got people on it. They got people addicted to it. Why? Because they realized that if people are using our stuff, they're not going to go anywhere else. They're going to tell us exactly what we need to literally mold the other 30%. Imagine being given that feedback by the world in how do you get it done the best you can do it, but then you put it out there and then you get the feedback and you take action on that feedback. What's that going to do between the relationship between you and the people that you're doing business with? They're going to be like, oh my God, this person takes feedback and what came back is even better. And now what have you got? Forget having happy clients. What you want are clients that are ecstatic. You want them raving about you. You want them promoting you. You want them talking about you. So, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6:30 UK time. I cannot wait to start to create your IMAP. It's going to be honestly, it changes everything. I mean, if you look at this, like, if you love, like, living in luxury, and I love being in luxury, but luxury just doesn't happen. There has to be a design. Now, what happened every time I've had something fitted in, chances are I just had like a build around here doing some stuff. And I even knew that when they took all their stuff and they went, I thought, right, what's the chances of me calling them back to say, this has happened, that's happened? Quite high. But guess what? They come back and they do it. They take the feedback, they come, oh, okay, well, and what happened? For me, I'll tell you what happened. I had a whole extension put on something, and they had to literally rebuild a whole wall at the back of my house. And what's happened? Cracks have appeared. And what do they say? Oh, yeah, the ground's moving. It's a Victorian house. True. So sometimes you can't stop the cracks appearing. You might be doing everything that you can. You might have all the best tools, all the best information, all the best people, and then suddenly those cracks are going to appear. But if you don't start the communication between you and the marketplace, you and your partners, you and your clients, you don't get that information. And then what happens? You fall in the trap, and this is a big one: small cracks can sink big ships. And that doesn't mean, oh my God, I'm not going to launch this with cracks in. It's like, no, no, no. I know there's cracks here. But when the feedback comes back, then I want to start patching up these cracks. Because what you don't want is those cracks getting bigger and bigger and bigger. That's just avoiding something. That's just being, that's not being responsible. That's pushing stuff under the carpet. And what would happen? If you're just pushing junk under the carpet, eventually that carpet's going to build up, build up, build up. And there's all this toxic stuff that at some point, it's going to explode over, and it's going to be a toxic overload. And that toxic overload can literally bring companies down because they haven't listened to the feedback. I can tell you now, write it down. Feedback is the breakfast of champions. Write it down. Now, type in the chat. Let me know, what is something that you want to get out into the marketplace? Is it a product? Is it a service? Is it you? What is it that you want to get out there into the marketplace? I just had a client on a call today, and he's been involved with companies where they've raised about 50 million for projects that he's involved with. And it's unbelievable. It's the amount of cracks. Like, okay, I'll use this as an analogy. Look at basketball players. When they shoot, they're not scoring every single goal. You look at like a cricket player or a baseball player. They miss so many. But what happens? They then get feedback, change this, adapt this, and then boom, when they get it right, they start scoring. But what do? You're never going to go and be perfect in anything. All you want to become is the best at being you. That's why we're doing this 3J challenge. So where we're going to give you the tools, the gifts, so that you can become a 21st century entrepreneur. Now, come on, type in the chat. What's something that you want to get out there? What's something that's within you that wants to be released into the world? What is it? And be thinking about it. They say, don't die with, I think it was ABBA who said this, don't die with the music still inside you. Well, don't die with the creation still inside you. Because it could be a book, it could be a movie, it could be a documentary, it could be a product, it could be a service. It could be absolutely anything. Because in today's world, entrepreneurs are the ones that are going to change the world. Entrepreneurs, I believe, are the ones that are going to save the world because they look at a marketplace, they look at, here's a problem here, boom, here's the solution. And even if they're solving 70% of the problems, what do you think these people are going to be? Happy or complaining? Most of them will be happy. When it goes wrong, yet the complaints are going to come back, but then we can bring a solution back to those complaints, back to those problems. Got to be solution driven, my friend. And it takes building a muscle. That's why we're going to spend these 3 days together. So, you're going to come and join us Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for this 3-day challenge so that you can learn how to become the 21st century entrepreneur by creating your IMAP. That's what we're going to do over these 3 days. It's so important for you to have an IMAP, that intelligent massive action plan. So if you did get value from this, please do like it. Please do share it as well. And please do comment below. Let me know what you want to get out there in the marketplace so I can see where you're at. So when we go into the challenge, I'm like, okay, we've got X amount of people here, X amount of people here, X amount of people here, all doing what? Making sure that what they're giving to the world is working. So don't forget to register, my friends. The link is in the chat. And the link is on the screen as well. So look at that. All you got to do is click the screen, my friends. That's it. It's so easy now. We're making it so easy for you. So I hope you got some value from this. Understanding that imperfection in action is how you win the game. Don't wait to be perfect because it will kill your success. We're going to be going through this in more detail, but I hope you got some value from this. But most importantly, make sure that you've got registered and bring your friends, bring your work colleagues, bring your family, because what I'm going to be sharing, whatever level you're at, you're going to be able to come up to the next level and beyond. So my friends, I'm back in London now. Tomorrow, round about the same time, we're going to be going live again. So come and join us. Make sure you're here. But please come ready to step in to you. And who's you? You are, I truly believe that every single one of us has an entrepreneur of the 21st century in us waiting to come out into the world. And honestly, from someone, I didn't get raised with a silver spoon, didn't get raised in a world with, where I could access money or opportunities. What I got was the school of hard knocks life. So it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down, it's always how you rise up, and making sure that you rise up bigger, better, stronger, more focused, more loving, more passionate, more compassionate, more of all those good ingredients we're going to be blending up. And that's what we're going to be having for dinner on those 3 days, my friends. So click that link, make sure you get registered, and I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. So I'm Skip, live strong, live healthy, live long. Make sure you live now. For now, I'm out of here. Yeah.